As we all know, we are facing a major rainstorm in southern Arizona, and we can tell you how to stay safe. But did you know what to do to keep your animals out of harm's way?
Samantha Esquivel from the Humane Society of Southern Arizona joins us this morning with tips on keeping your pets safe during this rain and flooding. Good morning. Oh my gosh, let's go to the introduction first. Who is this little princess?
This is Mama's, and she is a year and a half, and she's sporting a raincoat for you guys.
Yes.
I know, isn't that sweet? It's got a hood and everything.
Because it is timely, so she's making sure she stays dry as well. And she was brought to the Humane Society with 4 babies, 4 puppies. So she was a mama, and she went into foster care, and she raised her pups, and then they came back to the shelter. Her babies got adopted, but here she waits. So she is waiting for her forever home. She gets along great with other dogs. She's very protective of homes. So, and she's not aggressive. However, looking at her foster notes, she's very alert. So if someone is walking by, she's gonna bark, 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 bark to let you know.
She's an alarm dog.
Exactly. And a lot of people look for that when they have pets because it makes them feel safe. And I can definitely understand that. So she's a very safe girl, and she's ready to.
She's so sweet. She just wants to play.
Oh, she has tons of energy. And she's ready to go all the time, and she loves walks, and she doesn't pull too much either.
And she definitely likes wearing clothes.
And she doesn't mind it.
Right.
She doesn't mind it too much. So it's got to keep her nice and dry.
So how can we keep animals like Mama's safe during this storm and this flooding? I mean, because it's you know, it affects us, it scares us, but it also scares them.
Yeah, I always like for people to kind of follow the same rule of thumb as monsoon season. And although we're kind of out of our monsoon season and we have the tropical storm kind of hitting us, little pieces of it, it's really important that you keep your pet indoors. And I know if they're an outdoor animal or an indoor-outdoor animal, it's important to keep them indoors. And that's just because lightning and thunder, it can scare them. And when it scares them, they can run and run and run, jump fences, and they can hurt themselves in the process. Also, if you just lock your dog up in a crate, they'll be fine. They're not going to mind it. If they're not used to being in a crate, that's going to cause a huge problem. I know a lot of times at our own shelter, people have brought their pets in because they have actually bit out of a crate out of fear. And so these are just crazy extreme scenarios that I've seen. So that's why I always encourage everyone to set up a quiet room, put on a TV, some classical music, aromatherapy. All of these things actually do work, and it's just best to keep your pet calm and create a situation that is most normal to them.
What if we have to take our dogs outside to go to the bathroom and we realize our backyard is flooded?
Well, you know, I always recommend puppy pads or front yard gravel area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't want your pet to be holding it in. And a lot of times if they do hold it in, they can get really bad diarrhea. I've seen that happen before because they're so trained not to go inside.
Right.
They're holding it in and then they have an accident. And so if this does in fact happen, don't get angry with them. Lightly correct them, take them outside. But also as pet owners, it's our responsibility to be taking them out frequently. And I'm sure that if you're supervising them, they won't mind the rain.
And I think we've discussed this before on the show, but if you do take them outside and they get rain in their ears, that could be really dangerous for animals, correct?
If they get an excessive amount of water in their ears, that's a huge potential problem. It can create yeast, some water infections can get in there. So it's always, most dogs are pretty good about keeping water out. It's when you're in a pool or in river water or the wash. So that's a great way for them to get lots of excess water in there and create yeast problems.
And obviously with all this rain and flooding, it picks up a lot of, you know, like particles and organisms and they, you know, and it's around. What are some things that we should just make sure that we're looking out for that our pets might not be exposed to, but with the water and the rain and the streams and things that could possibly
Great point. So after it rains, always keep in mind, although a puddle looks very alluring and you want to jump in it and play in it, there's lots of germs in there, especially if it's been sitting there for some time. I know rain puddles don't last very long around here in Tucson, but even large puddles of water within the wash. And I wouldn't recommend anyone playing in there anyways after a storm because who knows, more water could rush through. Also, there's glass, there's debris. There's so many different things that can harm your pet. I also did want to mention to you girls, because I just got news of this, but our shelter will be closed closed today, and that is just because we want to make sure that we are setting up and we are preparing the best that we can. We're making sure that there's no anxiety-ridden pets.
Yeah, how do you do that with so many animals in one location?
We have a great set of staff out there. So we will be closed today and tomorrow, and our off-site locations will remain open. However, if the mall's closed, then we'll be closed to our Posh locations. So we have one at La Encantada and we have one at Park Place Mall. So if you have any questions or anything, I know that we're still taking phone calls. So keep your pets warm, keep them dry, keep them inside.
Yes.
And if you have questions, always call us.
Excellent. Samantha, thank you so much for
girls.
joining us, and stay safe out there, you two. If you'd like to open your home to any type of pet, pay the Humane Society a visit. They're located on Calvin, northeast of Country Club and Fort Low. They're open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 6 and Sundays noon to 5. If you want to call ahead, their number is 327-6088.
Coming up, we'll tell you about an event that combines music, cooking, and urban survival. And you're invited. More when we come back.